Whether you're nervously sending crypto from a hardware wallet or you're the security chief for a massive company, cybersecurity has kind of stopped being just a tech problem, it's a life problem now. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and demystify the core ideas that keep our digital stuff safe, from your personal investments all the way up to huge corporate networks. Let's get into what it really takes to stay secure out there. All right, to make this all feel real, let's start where the stakes feel the absolute highest for an individual. The wild world of cryptocurrency. I mean, one wrong click, one tiny little mistake, and poof, everything can be gone in a flash. It's a space where a single moment of carelessness can be absolutely devastating, and that constant threat is exactly why personal cybersecurity is so critical. And check this out. This is a quote word for word from a Reddit user, and it is a pure nightmare scenario. Imagine this. You copy your wallet address, you go to paste it, but some piece of malware, like a little digital pickpocket, has silently swapped your address with the attackers. You don't notice, you hit send, and your funds are just gone. Forever. This isn't some made-up threat. It is happening to people right now, and it is exactly the kind of thing that keeps traders up at night. So what do people do? Well, they build this kind of personal security fortress. Look at this list. A completely separate computer just for trading. No email on it, no surfing the web. Constant malware scans. And, oh yeah, manually checking every single character of a long wallet address. Now, don't get me wrong, these are all good ideas, but they're what one person does alone. They're individual solutions to this massive, interconnected problem. So how do the pros handle this? Okay, so how do we level up from that kind of one-person army paranoia to a more structured, professional way of thinking about defense? Well, the answer doesn't start with some crazy expensive software. It starts with something way more fundamental, something called cyber hygiene. And honestly, you can think of it just like personal hygiene, right? You wash your hands, you brush your teeth, you do these basic things to prevent common illnesses. While cyber hygiene is the exact same idea for your digital life. It's a set of basic, prioritized habits that defend against the most common attacks out there. It's not about being a security genius. It's about practicing the fundamentals that build a strong foundation. But what does good hygiene actually mean in practice? I mean, where do you even start? That's where frameworks like the CIS controls come in. They basically take all the guesswork out of it. It's like a prioritized, expert-approved to-do list for cybersecurity that tells you exactly where to begin to get the most protection for your effort. And out of this whole long list of controls, the first two are pretty much everything. Seriously. Step 1, know every single piece of hardware on your network. Laptops, servers, phones, everything. Step 2, know every single piece of software running on all that hardware. Why? Because you cannot protect what you don't even know you have. It's that simple. This isn't just a good idea, it is the absolute bedrock of any real defense. But okay, here's the twist. In our modern world, with cloud computing and everyone working from home, even perfect cyber hygiene isn't quite enough. The entire game has changed, and that has forced a massive fundamental shift in how we have to think about security. So the old way of doing things was something we call castle and moat. The idea was you'd build a big, strong wall, your firewall, around your network, and you'd just assume that everything and everyone inside those walls was safe and could be trusted. The huge problem, of course, is that once an attacker gets over the wall, they have free rein to do whatever they want. The new way? It's called zero trust, and it basically demolishes the castle walls. It runs on one simple but totally radical principle. Never trust, always verify. Every single request to access anything has to be proven, every single time. It doesn't matter if it's coming from outside or inside the network. Now, this whole philosophy boils down to 3 core ideas. First, verify explicitly. This basically means we're always asking, are you really who you say you are, and can you prove it right now? We don't just trust you because you're on our Wi-Fi. Second, use least privilege access. This means you give people the absolute bare minimum level of access they need to do their job, and nothing more. And third, and this is the biggest mindset shift of all, assume breach. So under this new model, we're not just focused on protecting the network anymore. The focus shifts to protecting these 6 pillars. Identities, meaning the users, endpoints, which are the devices, the applications themselves, the data, the infrastructure, and yes, the network too. Security is now wrapped tightly around each individual piece, not just thrown up around the edges. And hey, the data completely backs this up. When security pros were asked what their top concerns are when implementing zero trust, what came out on top?
devices and identities, by a long shot. This chart proves it. The game has totally changed. It is no longer about just guarding the gate to the network. It's about constantly verifying every single person and every single device trying to access anything.
All right, let's really dig into that third principle, because assume breach is the one that really flips traditional security on its head. Now, I know it sounds super pessimistic, right? But it's actually the secret to building a defense that can actually survive in the real world. See, the goal isn't just to prevent a breach anymore. It's to accept that eventually a breach is going to happen, and you need to be ready when it does. The real question then becomes, how quickly can you spot it? How well can you contain the damage, what we call the blast radius? And how fast can you shut it down and recover? This is the perfect analogy for it. The old castle and moat thinking was all about building higher and higher walls. The assume breach model is about making sure you have smoke detectors installed so you know the second a fire starts. It's about having fire extinguishers ready to go to put it out and an escape plan to limit the harm. We're moving from just prevention to a full strategy of prevention, detection, and response. Okay, so we've been talking about big corporate strategies and all these high-level frameworks. So what does any of this mean for you, for our crypto trader friend, or really for any of us just trying to stay safe online? How do you actually apply zero trust to your own life?
This right here brings it all home. Let's walk through it. Verify explicitly at a corporation means mandatory multi-factor authentication. In your life, it's turning on 2FA for your email and your crypto accounts. Easy. Least privilege access at work means the new intern can't get into the company's financial records. At home, it means your kid's gaming profile on the computer doesn't have administrator rights, so they can't accidentally install something nasty. And assume breach, for a company, that's a 24/7 incident response team on standby. For you, it's manually, carefully triple-checking that crypto address before you dare hit send, because you're assuming that clipboard hijacking malware could be on your machine right now. See, these aren't just corporate buzzwords. They are real, practical things you can do to protect yourself. So, we'll end with this question. If that old perimeter, that castle wall around the network, is basically gone, what's your new perimeter? Well, it's you. It's your identity, locked down with strong passwords and 2FA. It's your devices, kept up to date and clean of malware. And it's your habits, operating every day with a healthy dose of paranoia. In this new world of zero trust, you are the new firewall, and the strength of your security really does start with you.